The steam turbines of the puffing town roared deafeningly, its white smoke trailing a long streak across the azure sea. Sanji stood steady in the violently rocking car 4, the screech of his dress shoes against the metal floor echoing sharply. With deliberate calm, he rolled up his sleeves, his lone visible eye locking onto his bizarre opponent Wanze of CP7, master of the Ramen Kenpo. The man's ridiculous top knot swayed as golden noodles slithered unnaturally from his sleeves, coiling in the air like living serpents. Noodle sunburn. Wanze flicked his wrists, and hundreds of noodles hardened instantly, shooting toward Sanji like steel needles. Sanji's pupils contracted as his right leg cut a flawless arc through the air. Collarbone shot. The sheer force of his kick shattered the barrage, though a few strands still grazed his cheek, drawing blood. Wiping the streak away with his thumb, Sanji's gaze sharpened. Interesting, Wanze cackled before plunging his hands into the floor. Noodle binding prison. Countless strands erupted from the gaps, constricting Sanji's legs like pythons. At the same time, Wanze's body swelled grotesquely as noodles layered over him, forming a monstrous suit of armor. Even his face was masked, leaving only cold, glinting eyes exposed. Sanji strained against the restraints, but the noodles held unnaturally firm. Special high-gluten flour. Wanze taunted, his voice muffled, laced with sea stone powder. Useless on you, but... He lunged, his noodle-wrapped fist hurtling toward Sanji's face. At the last instant, blue flames erupted around Sanji's right foot. Diable Jam, flambage shot. The searing kick not only severed the bindings, but melted a gaping hole in Wanze's mask. Steam hissed from the breaches. Wanze staggered back, frantically patching the damage with fresh noodles. Persistent bastard. Sanji muttered before drawing two gleaming chef's knives from his coat. Let me show you real cooking. His form blurred. In a whirlwind of slashes, he danced around Wanze's filet mignon, butcher's precision, each blade finding the seams in the armor. Golden noodle shreds rained down like confetti. Wanze's eyes widened in horror as his armor disintegrated. Impossible. My formula. Sanji was already above him, legs locked like an executioner's axe. Diable Jam, deep-fried strike. The kick hammered Wanze through 3 layers of flooring before he crashed onto the coastal rocks below, unconscious. As Sanji straightened his tie, the entire train shuddered violently. Thud, thud, thud. The ceiling denting under some tremendous impact. He smirked upward. That Cyborg's making a mess. On the roof, Franky's metal frame clashed with Nero's Zoro-enhanced speed. The CP9 agent flickered like a ghost, each reappearance driving his razor-sharp fingertips into Franky's plating. Useless, Nero sneered, watching blood seep from the punctures. My Tekai piercer penetrates even steel. Franky glanced at his perforated chest before grinning wildly. Super, then try this. He slammed a button on his abdomen. With a hydraulic hiss, his back armor split open, revealing intricate machinery. Franky Centaur mode. His lower body reconfigured into 4 mechanical legs, steam jetting from the joints as they clamped onto the roof. Nero barely had time to react before Franky barreled into him. Franky Centaur tackle, sending him skidding across the roof, tearing up metal in his wake. Nero spat blood, barely steadying himself with Tekai. Rankyaku, circular cut. He spun, unleashing a escaped air slash. Franky crossed his arms. Franky iron wall. The attack gouging deep into his forearms but failing to breach. Nero Zoro rushed him again. Fingers aimed at Franky's face only for the cyborg's chest to yawn open, revealing a cannon barrel. Franky ultimate right. The piston-driven punch collided with Nero's outstretched hand, cracked finger bones snapping like twigs. The shockwave peeled back the roof plating as Nero catapulted into the sea, unconscious before he hit the water. 200 meters behind the train, Zoro faced off against Marine Captain T-Bone. The sea whined, whipping their coats like battle standards. The officer's massive sword gleamed coldly. Pirate Roranoa, T-Bone intoned, my blade has cleaved 30 battleships. Today, it claims another. Zoro bit down on Wado Ichimonji. Sandai Kidetsu and Shisui at the ready in a three-sword stance. Enough talk, he growled, eyes sharp as blades. T-Bone struck first battleship cut, waves sunder. The sword's arc shearing the tracks apart, splitting the ocean itself in 100-meter chasm. Yet at the last instant, Zoro's image multiplied Santoryu. Shadow flash. 3 Zoros attacking from different angles. Parlor tricks. T-Bone's sword cleaved through 2 afterimages. But the real Zoro was already airborne. Blades forming a deadly cross. Santoryu. Tiger hunt. T-Bone barely raised his sword in time. The impact leaving 3 deep gashes in the steel. T-Bone wiped blood from his brow, shifting his grip. True battleship secret technique. Heaven splitter. His two-handed upward slash launched a crescent shockwave that split the clouds above. Zoro's eyes blazed with excitement. His swords humming with violet light. Santoryu Ogi. 3,000 worlds. He became a green hurricane, colliding head-on with the slash. For a heartbeat, the forces warred before Zoro's blades shredded the wave. His form flashing past T-Bone. Clang! The massive sword shattered into 4 pieces. T-Bone's chest erupted in 3 crimson sprays as he collapsed to his knees. What kind of swordsmanship? Zoro sheathed his blades, the sea breeze cooling his sweat. Just a stepping stone. He leapt back toward the train without a glance, T-Bone's body hitting the tracks behind him. As Zoro rejoined the crew, Luffy stood at the train's prow, his straw hat flapping wildly in the wind. The foreboding silhouette of Enies' lobby loomed ahead, its gates of justice radiating an ominous glow. Took you long enough, Luffy grinned. Zoro snorted, taking his place beside his captain. Warm-up ran late. Inside, Sanji lit a post-battle cigarette. Nami studied maps, and Usopp still disguised as soaking hid in Robin's coat, her eyes clouded with turmoil. The puffing Tom's final whistle screamed like a war horn. The gates creaked open, a beast bearing its maw. Luffy clenched his rubber fist, his shadow stretching long in the sunset. Hold on, Robin. We're bringing you home. The train's thunder merged with the crashing waves, a symphony of defiance. Into the heart of the world government's absolute justice, the Straw Hats charged unstoppable, unbreakable, under a sky painted in the colors of war.